a much more immediate, much more lasting effect than typical political protest actions. We know this from contemporary history. We also know this from our history. 70 years ago today at 6:06 p.m., 70 years ago, Rosa Parks refused a bus driver's order to get up out of her seat on the bus so a white person could take her seat. That act of refusal was the start of the Montgomery bus boycott. She did that again December 1st, 70 years ago today. Less than a week later, December 5th, 70 years ago, less than a week after she refused to move to the back of the bus, more than 5,000 people turned out to attend the first mass meeting to plan a boycott of the bus system in Montgomery, Alabama, an economic boycott. That boycott went on for 382 long days, more than a year, 382 days. Before that act of economic protest and logistical genius and economic sacrifice by African Americans in Alabama forced a change. And public bus segregation was ruled unconstitutional. And as Americans, that's not just something to be like retroactively impressed by, right? That's not just something to learn by heart at school and memorize. That's our moral foundation as a country. That's our strategic and moral inheritance as modern Americans. We can learn from Americans who have gone before us and fought against long odds to stop our government from doing terrible things. I mentioned a couple of months ago that I was going to be doing two things before the end of the year. I was going to be doing a pair of projects to try to sort of build on that idea, to help myself, honestly, think harder, to hopefully help us all think harder about other times in our modern history where Americans have done hard things and won. And it took a long time, and it was difficult, but they won. Where previous generations of Americans can teach us how to win, how to beat the government when the government is at its worst and when it feels like the odds are against you. How to make the American government stop doing the worst things. So two projects I said before the end of the year. The first of those was the documentary that we aired here this fall, just a few weeks ago on MSNBC, called Andrew Young, The Dirty Work. Andrew Young's own story and his own words about the nitty-gritty, unglamorous, laborious detail work that it takes, that it took him